Hi, One Hour Smart Home here, and today we're going to show you how to install a Leviton Smart Dimmer. So these are the newest generation of Leviton Smart Dimmers. They're the second gen. They came out in 2021, and this is a Leviton Smart Dimmer D26HD. So this is going to allow you to control it via Wi-Fi from your phone, and is also compatible with voice assistants like Alexa and Google Home, so you can turn it on and off with your voice. So we're going to get started installing this Leviton Smart Dimmer, and in order to do that, we want to make sure the power is off to our existing switch. So go ahead, down to your circuit breaker, turn off the power, confirm that power is off as safely as possible, and we have confirmed the power is off. Now, one thing you should know before you install the Leviton Smart Dimmer is that it does require a neutral wire. So if you don't know if you have a neutral wire, go ahead and take a look in the description below. It's going to explain to you what a neutral wire is and have a video that shows you how to identify a neutral wire. Most homes built after 1980 are going to have a neutral wire, but not all homes are going to have a neutral wire built after 1980. So go ahead and take a look at that video below that's going to teach you what a neutral wire is. So we've got the power off. Now we're ready to take these two screws out and remove the cover plate. We've got the cover plate removed. Once again, you want to make sure that that power is off and that you've turned it off at the circuit breaker. So ours is off. We can now remove that switch. We've got the switch screws removed, and we can pull it out of the junction box so we can look at the wiring. Now, I recommend you take a picture here before you go any further so you know what wiring you've got. The wire down here, that's our incoming power. That's our line wire or our hot wire, and that's what's supplying power to this light switch. The wire on the top, that's going to be our load wire, and that's the wire that goes from the light switch up to the light fixture. Now, we've got our other wires in here, and you can see we've got two more. This white wire, that's the neutral wire, which is required for the installation of the Leviton Smart Dimmer. The other wire that we've got in the junction box is this unshielded wire, the bare copper wire. Sometimes it's going to be green, and that is our ground wire, and that's connected at the top of the existing switch here. So we're going to remove the existing wires, and I recommend you use a piece of electrical tape or you use the provided labels to identify which wire is which. So you've got that information for when you go install the Leviton D26HD Smart Dimmer. So remove both of these wires from these terminals and make sure that we've got them identified so that we can connect them to the new switch. I'm going to take my load wire and bend that up so I know which wire is which. And I'm going to take my line wire down here at the bottom, or my hot wire down here at the bottom, and I'm going to bend that one down. Now we've just got our ground wire, and we need to remove that. Now that we've got the existing switch removed and we've got the wiring identified, we're ready to install the new Leviton Smart Dimmer. So on the back of the Leviton Smart Dimmer, you've got a couple different wires here. You've got right here your black wire. That is going to be your line or hot wire, the incoming power. So I'm going to match that up to this wire down here. You've got your red wire. That is your load wire. That goes up to the existing light fixture. Now on the back of here, it shows you each one of these wires and what they are. Line, load. You've got our neutral wire over here, and you've got this yellow wire, which we're going to get to in a minute. And then you've got your ground wire. That's this green wire right here. So you've got this one that's going to connect to this unshielded wire right here. So green to the ground wire in the junction box. So the last wire we've got here is this yellow one, and you might wonder what this is for. Well, this yellow wire, this is for installing this in a three-way configuration. So this is compatible with a three-way switch in the Leviton Smart Dimmer lineup. So if you want to connect it in a three-way configuration, you're going to have to look at another video that we did. We'll put that down in the description below. So we're not going to install that here. This is just a standard, as they would call, single pole light switch, or it's connecting a light fixture up above. A three-way switch is where you've got two switches controlling a light fixtures like you might have at the top and bottom of a stairs, where you got a switch up top and you got a switch down below. and that turns on and off the light fixture up above. So we're not going to use that three-way configuration. We're ready to go ahead and get all of these installed. So I'm just going to take the wire on the back here, that load wire, the incoming hot wire, and I'm going to connect it to the incoming hot wire here in the junction box. We've got our hot wires connected right here, so hot to hot or line to line. Next one I'm going to connect is going to be our load wire. So that's this red wire on the switch, and then that's this wire we bent up at the top here. So we're going to connect the load wire to the load wire, and then just take our wire nut and screw these two together. Sometimes you may need to trim the existing wire a little bit to make it a good fit for a wire nut. So we're just going to trim just the tiniest amount off there, just to get it a little bit better fit in that wire nut. Now we've got our load wires connected right here. We've got our hot wires connected down here. Let's take our neutral wire and we're going to connect it to the existing bundle of neutral wires right here. So we're going to remove the wire nut and then insert the new neutral wire and then screw all three of these together. Now the only wire we have left to connect is our ground wire on the Leviton Smart Switch. So that's this one right here. And then we've just got to get our ground wire here. We're going to untangle it a little bit and we're going to connect it to that Leviton Smart Dimmer ground wire. So we've got the two here and we're just going to use our pliers and straighten this one out a little bit so it goes in a wire nut a little bit better. Now we take these two and just twist the two ground wires together and put a wire nut on them. We've got everything wired up now and we're just going to push the wires into the junction box gently. Sometimes you got to play a little bit of wire origami here to fold them in there. And it's a little bit harder if you've got more wires in there. But this one has a fair amount of space, so we're going to be able to push those back in there. And you do want to take some time getting this all figured out and situated because there is a fair amount of depth to the Leviton Smart Dimmer. So you want to make sure you have that space to get the switch in there. And of course, this wire we're not going to use, so we'll just put that in there. We've got our two screws aligned and we're just going to secure them into the junction box. Now we've got the light switch secured into the junction box, so we could go ahead and turn the power on if we wanted to. However, it is safer to put the cover plate on before you turn the power back on. So I'm just putting the existing cover plate we had on there back up, but you could use the one that's provided with the Leviton Smart Dimmer. It doesn't matter which one you put up, but if you've got multiple switches, you're probably going to use that existing cover plate because the Leviton one that comes in the box is only for a single gang usage. So I'm going to put the cover plate back on and then we're going to turn the power on at the circuit breaker and we're going to get our phone to get this installed and set up on the app. We've got the cover plate installed, so let's go turn the power back on at the circuit breaker. We've got the power restored and you can see that the dimmer will turn on and off and I can adjust the dimming levels. So everything is working from a wiring perspective. Now we need to connect the Leviton Smart Dimmer to the Leviton app. So I've opened up the Leviton app over here and you haven't done so already, go ahead and download it from the iOS store or Android store. Once you do that, you're going to need to set up a username and password, which we've already done, and then it's going to take you to a home screen. So here we are at Add a Device. I can click down here, or I can click up in the top on the plus symbol. So I'm going to click Add a Device so we can get the Leviton dimmer connected. Now I have to make a selection of what we're connecting, so we're going to click the top option, the dimmer here. Now there's two different generations of dimmers. This is the latest generation that came out in 2021. So that's the second generation. We're going to click on the Leviton D26HD Smart Dimmer. That's the second gen option down here at the bottom. And then it's going to let us get this set up. Here it says, before we start, is your device installed and is the light flashing green? So it is installed, but the light is not flashing green. It may be hard to tell on camera, but it is not green. If it is flashing green, you can just click yes, let's go. If not, click down here on I don't see a flashing light, and it's going to tell you what you need to do in order to get this back up in setup mode. It says press and hold the top paddle. After the first 7 seconds, the light will flash amber. Release the paddle and the light will flash green. The dimmer is now in enrollment mode. So I'm going to click up here for 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so it did start changing, and when I released, it went from amber to the flashing green. Now I'm just going to click back, and my light switch is now in pairing mode with this faster green flash. So I can say, is your device installed and is the light flashing green? Yes, let's go. Select your device. We found these products. Select your desired product from the list. So that is what we're going to select, and we're going to click next. Now it's looking for Wi-Fi networks. Select your Wi-Fi network. Click next. Enter your password. Click next. It says we're transferring the Wi-Fi settings to your Leviton device. This might take a minute. Now we need to choose an icon for the switch, so I'm just going to leave it at what was chosen and click Save. Now we need to edit the device name, and if you're going to use voice commands, it's a good idea to make it a simple to use and simple to say name. So we're going to label this one bedroom and click OK. Click next. Now we need to assign a room, so we can assign it. We're just going to assign this one as bedroom and click add to room. It says, looks like we need to fix something, so we're working on it. Okay. Hooray, your Decor smart product is ready to use. Check out integrations to get the most out of your lighting control. I'm going to click finish. Now we've got our light switch right here, and we can turn it on and off from the app. So I'm going to turn it all the way up here, and you can see that that light in the reflection turned on, and we can turn it off if we just click it right here. Turn it on, and we can turn it off. Now within the app, there's all kinds of settings you can play with, but we're just going to go ahead and click on this device, and then once you're in there, you can turn it on or off in this screen that allows you to control the device, or you can adjust the dimming levels. So I can take that down to 47% if I want, or I could take that all the way down to 10%, and it's really going to dim it down there. Now we've got other device settings here that we can click on, and we can change the name of the device, we can reconfigure our wireless, we can identify the device, and even check the device health. So if we click on advanced settings, we've got some options here. Let's click on the top one, device options here. It says locator mode, the LED is always off. Status mode, the LED is on when the load is on. So that means when the light's on, the LED down at the bottom is on. And I really do like this feature, or being able to change it, because sometimes it's really bright at night. So you can change this between LED is always off or the locator mode so you could see it at night, or if you don't want any brightness or any lights in your bedroom because let's say that LED would keep you up at night, you can go ahead and just change this between those different modes. So I'm going to put it to LED always off here and then click OK, just because I don't like any of those lights at night. Now you've also got adjustment for the LED bar behavior. It can always be off, or it can turn off after 1 to 25 seconds, or it can always be on. So you can just go through here and change your preferences as you want. If you want to change it, you click here and you can change the number of seconds, or you can put always off or all the way to always on. So we're going to leave it for 10 seconds. I think that's nice. And then we'll just go back from here. Now the other options you have are preset light level selections, so you can return it to the previous brightness, whatever it is, it'll turn that on, or you can turn it on or set it to a specified brightness, so every time you turn it on, it would go to 100% or 90%, whatever you want. So you can change those here, and you can change it anywhere between 50 and 100%. We're going to leave it at 100%. I always wanted to turn on the highest level whenever I click it, and then I can always adjust it down if I want. Here we've got bulb options, and this just tunes the device to your light bulb. So if you've got an incandescent or an LED or a CFL, you can change that around here, and it's just going to make the dimmer switch work a little bit better with the specified light bulb that you've got. I've got an LED bulb in here, and I don't have any issues with that, but make sure that when you're installing light bulbs, you always get dimmable LEDs. It makes it much easier for smart dimmers to be compatible. Here you've got a fade on rate, so you can change how quickly the lights go on and off or dim on and off. So you can do 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 0 seconds, instantaneous. I do like 0 seconds, I like instantaneous, but you could change that to whatever you want. You've got a fade off rate, and you can make that whatever you want there as well. Then down at the bottom here, we've got our dimming range, and you can select your minimum and maximum level. If you've got a light bulb that you're having issues with, it's good to tinker around with this so that don't set your minimum level too low, and that might solve your problem if you've got flickering light bulbs. But I haven't had any issues after using these for a long time with light bulbs flickering, but if you did, you could adjust that right there in the dimming range. So let's get out of this and go back to some of the main settings here. And if we want to go back, we can go even further into the app, and we can see what else we've got in the app here. So if you've got more than one switch, they're all going to show up here. And then if you click on your home, you've got some settings that you can adjust within there. You can change your rooms around, your home and away settings, your location and time zone, as well as your night settings. So I think one of the issues that I had here was that I tried to put the bedroom dimmer in the bedroom, and it didn't like that they both had the same name. So I think if I change this, let's select this, and we're going to change the name of this particular device. Let's click it here, and we're just going to call this bed 1. Now that we've got the name updated, we're going to go back here, and we're at the main screen. We're going to click on home, and then we're going to click on settings up here, and we're going to select rooms right here, and we don't have any rooms here. We're going to click plus here, and then we're going to add a room. So now I'm just going to name this one bedroom, and the reason you would want to have your devices in a room is if you've got multiple switches for one room, then you can group them all together and have the entire bedroom lights turn on when you want to have all of them in one room turn on, or you could just have one of those light switches turn on. But if you've got them grouped and you say, Alexa, turn on the bedroom, then that's going to turn all those lights you have grouped into that room name on, which is a nice feature. So now that we've given it a name, we're just going to click go. Now we click next. Now we can assign our devices right here. So we're going to assign bed 1 and click save and complete. Now it's going to be in that assigned room when we go back to the main home screen. So let's click back there, click back again, and now you can see it's in the bedroom. And I can then, if I had more switches, I could use that to control multiple switches in one room if I just slid on or off right there. Now there are some other settings here in the app. If we click on home and in settings, you've got the home and away settings. You click on that and you can have an activity based on your status. You could have those lights turn off while you're at work. Let's go back here. You can also have night settings so that the lights turn on or off at night at a certain time. You can change your time zone. And then that's pretty much all you've got for settings within the app. So thank you for watching this video on how to install your Leviton Smart Dimmer or your Leviton D26HD Smart Dimmer Switch. If you want to see how to install a Leviton 3-way Smart Dimmer Switch, go ahead, take a look at the links below. And if you want to know what a neutral wire is, also take a look at that description in the links below. So thank you for watching this video. If it was helpful, please give us that thumbs up, subscribe, or click on any of the links below if you want to support us, and please leave a comment. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.